This is the Porsche Macan EV. Porsche's first electric SUV. And Porsche says that this looks like a Porsche, it feels like a Porsche, and it drives like a Porsche. But is that actually true? Well, let's find out. When it comes to looks, well, we'll leave that for you to decide. Looks are subjective after all. But to me, it does, well, I think it looks like a Porsche. The headlights are definitely taken from the Taycan. Aside from that, I still think it looks mostly like a Porsche. Is it the best looking Porsche? I'll leave that for you to decide. For me though, the proportions do look a bit off. I think it looks too bulky, too fat. Somehow the car also looks like it's sitting a little too low down, which is weird because it's actually the same dimensions as the previous Macan. The only main difference is the wheelbase and the overall length, and even then it doesn't look too different. But yeah, the proportions look off to me. But of course, since this is the EV Macan, you've got an 84-liter trunk at the front, and if we move to the back, at the back you have a sloping roofline right here. Not really a big fan, but this probably adds for better aerodynamics. You also have a spoiler at the back that will come up automatically at 100 kilometers an hour, or you can set it manually. And of course, the trunk is actually quite big, 540 liters. Got a little distracted there. 540 liters. It's about 52 liters bigger than the old Macan, and it's big enough to fit a videographer in here. So, very practical production car. On the inside, it looks and feels like a Porsche for the most part. The driver display is digital, just like in the Panamera, Cayenne, and Taycan, which is great. It looks really sharp. I do love the layout, the software. The infotainment system is also still touchscreen as usual. Same system, just slightly a bit newer. You know, you either like it or you don't. I do like this. Yeah, I think overall the system is good. Down below is the AC controls, physical switches, really nice, unlike in the Taycan. So these are the same switches as you find in the Cayenne and the Panamera, which is great. Love it. You got a volume knob right here as well. 2 cup holders right below here. You've got a phone charger here. Overall, you got quite a lot of space, bit of cubby space here. And for the steering wheel, it's the usual Porsche steering wheel. It's a little on the small side maybe, but I do like the size and the feel. It's really great. Buttons on the right for the driver display, buttons on the left for the volume and the playback controls. You do get drive mode switch here as standard, but if you don't get the car with the Sport Chrono package, you don't get Sport Plus and you don't get launch control. Aside from that, the car feels really good from the driver's seat. Driving position is about as good as it could be for a subcompact crossover SUV like this. From the front passenger seat is also really good. Plenty of space to move about. But if you sit at the back, it's a little tight for an adult. So, you know, if you're just starting out a family, you know, your kids are still very young, could be a good car. But if your kids are getting onto middle school, then you probably have to get something like a Cayenne or a Panamera instead. Otherwise, this car is just too small, really. Now, let's play my favorite game every time I'm in a Porsche. Spot the optional extras. Now, as you probably know, a lot of things on Porsches, they don't really come as standard, especially if you buy the base models. That means, you know, you have a lot of options to choose from. That means great customization, and you can customize your dream Porsche however you want. But that also means you need deep pockets to get the good stuff. So, in this car, as far as I can see, things that are optional are Sport Chrono package, the panoramic sunroof, the summerwood interior trim, the 14-way comfort seats, and the black and night green interior in leather, the electric sport sound, the oak green metallic neo paint, and there's probably a little more. Now, admittedly, this is a very nice spec, but in this spec, this car is going to cost you about 3.1 to 3.3 billion rupiah. Now, other electric SUVs around that price are the BMW iX and the Mercedes-Benz EQE SUV, both of which are bigger than this car. But we'll talk more about those cars later on. Other things that you need to know is that if you buy this car from Porsche Indonesia, you're gonna get 4-year warranty, a roadside assistance, and yeah, a few more things. But you should check with Porsche Center Jakarta or Porsche Center Surabaya if you need more details on those things. So, it looks like a Porsche, it feels like a Porsche, but does it drive like a Porsche? Well, let's start with some specs. Most of the time you're gonna have 387 horsepower in this car. But when the battery's full and in ideal conditions, you have overboost 408 horsepower, 650 Newton meters of torque. And that is a lot. I mean, the car's heavy, 2.3 tons, but the specs suggest that this still has a lot of power. So, because we have Sport Chrono package, we have launch control. So let's see how that feels like in this car. So, all you have to do is just put it in Sport Plus, or Sport, I think also works. Let's just put it in Sport Plus. Left foot on brake, and just put your foot down the throttle, and yeah, that is quick. Ooh, that is not slow for sure. So that is 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.2 seconds. So this car is heavy, but it isn't slow. You know, it has a lot of power, it has a lot of torque. Of course, you don't always have that. Again, most of the time you only have 387 horsepower. But nevertheless, this car goes. It is quick. It is not slow. But the thing is, Porsche isn't just about straight line speed. I think the best way to sum up how a Porsche drives is that it should be fast, obviously, fast to accelerate, but it should also feel stable, steady. You know, you should feel confident at high speeds with the car. It's not just about reaching a very high top speed, but it's about remaining stable and confident at that speed. So, let's see how that feels like. Oh, let's see if this car has that Porsche characteristic. Oh. Holy crap. I think because this is a crossover SUV, the car doesn't necessarily corner flat. You could feel a bit of body roll. You could feel that this isn't a tiny compact sports car. But overall, the car still corners very, very well. It's very stable. You can go at very high speeds, and you don't have to worry about the car losing control or anything. It feels heavy, you know. But it handles the weight really, really well. It doesn't corner flat. There's still a bit of body roll, obviously, because this is an SUV and it's quite heavy. There's still a bit of body roll, but for an SUV, this corners really well. Oh, Porsche knows how to build a car. Steering's not bad as well. I mean, obviously it's an electric power steering, but this isn't so bad at all. Porsche has nailed it, I think. Feels really good. You feel confident handling this car, both at slow and high speeds. And again, the steering feel is actually not bad. You can feel when the tires start to lose grip. You can actually feel it. You know, so maybe you're having a bit of fun. You know, you're going a bit hard through the corners, but you can actually feel when the tires are about to give up and, oh, you know what? I'll back off a bit. I don't want to hit that tree. So yeah, it feels like a Porsche. Honestly, it feels like a Porsche, but I'm not without complaints. First of all, this is a bit weird, but maybe it's because we're running on 50% charge. I don't know. But the car doesn't actually feel that fast. I mean, it's not slow. It still definitely goes. But with an electric car, like the Taycan, for example, that felt relentless, right? I mean, obviously, you know, electric cars, when you put your foot down, it's instant. And it's still the case here, but somehow it doesn't feel relentless. In a Taycan, you put your foot down, it's instant acceleration, and then it just keeps going. It goes, it goes, it goes. It doesn't lose any momentum at all. It's crazy. And this car somehow, it's not quite as relentless. I mean, obviously, it's instant. We're in normal mode, still very fast. But I think once you reach about maybe 120, it starts to feel like it's losing a bit of momentum. It's still not, again, not slow, but it's not relentless. Other things to note about the driving when it comes to comfort, I wouldn't say the Macan is not comfortable. I think it's still very comfortable, but I do prefer the Taycan actually. I think it's because this is a subcompact SUV, it's a little taller, it's quite heavy as well. So the suspension does have to be quite stiff to handle the body roll. So there's still, and even then, there's still a bit of swing, I think, in the suspension when you compare it to something like a Taycan. I mean, that's a given. That's just physics. But that's the thing, you know, even on con block roads like this, I do feel like the Taycan is more comfortable. Some would say this is better, but I don't know. I mean, this feels softer, but I think there's too much swing, and I do like the Taycan better than this. But this isn't uncomfortable. This is perfectly acceptable, and you'll be fine driving this on long journeys, really, such as to Semarang, like when we did a few months ago. Watch the video, don't forget. Another thing to note, the range officially is about 600 kilometers, but in real life, it's gonna be more like 500, 550. But when you do run out of charge, the car can fast charge up to 270 kilowatts. That's gonna take the Macan about 27 minutes to 30 minutes to fill up the battery to 80%. Overall, the Macan EV is fast, handles well, and is comfortable. However, it has to be noted that our test unit was equipped with adaptive air suspension and Porsche's active suspension management, which is a 100 million rupiah option. If you buy your Macan without this, then it may not have the same handling performance and comfort. But as spec, the Macan looks like a Porsche, it feels like a Porsche, and it drives like a Porsche. The question now is, should you buy the Macan EV? Let me put it this way. If you're looking for a crossover SUV with an electric powertrain and you have the capital for something with a Porsche badge on it, then yeah, you should consider this car. Now, other alternatives at this sort of price range is the BMW iX and the Mercedes-Benz EQE SUV, but I personally don't like the iX because I think it's too uncomfortable. And the EQE SUV, on the other hand, is, well, it's bigger, it's more luxurious, and it's cheaper. But this car, it has more power, more range, and it's a better drive. Also, if you buy the Macan, that gives you access to Porsche Destination Charging, which is Porsche's dedicated charging station for Porsche owners. That's free to use, so that should make the ownership cost even cheaper, and they are available in many major cities like Jakarta, Bandung, Surabaya, Semarang, and a few more. Also, obviously, buying the Porsche Macan gives you access to the Porsche Club Indonesia. Very active community, and there's a lot of members there, so if you want to network with new people who share the same passion for Porsche as you do, then yeah, you should definitely buy a Porsche. But that's the thing though, what if you don't want an electric SUV? What if you're looking to buy a Porsche? Now, if you're buying your first Porsche, I do believe that it shouldn't be electric. I mean, this is a very nice car, but for around 300 million rupiah more, you can have a very nice 718 Boxster or Cayman. And for a little under 4 billion rupiah, you can have a Porsche Cayenne with some really nice things on it. So yeah, maybe this car is gonna be faster, it's an EV, but I do believe that your first Porsche shouldn't be electric. I mean, this is a nice car, it's kind of fun to drive, but it's not as exciting as those cars with a gasoline-powered engine. But again, as I've said, this is a very nice car to drive, and I do enjoy it. So I'm gonna drive it some more. Thank you, speeders. See you on the next one. Bye.